because that's your personal beliefs. Whenever you express your personal beliefs outside the house, that's when we get screwed.
Yeah.
Right.
Before we jump into this next little bit, in this first half a minute, not only did I notice the earthenware on the thing, we also have a loom that's kind of behind her that clearly is probably being used to make clothing, I suppose, something in the background over there.
Yeah.
And if you've noticed when we pan over and we see the frame, the picture frame that's supposed to be their wedding day. By the way, the script says that is their wedding day. It's their wedding photo.
Okay.
That we actually get a glimpse of their couch, and this is the first time we've seen a piece of furniture that has had something on it besides just a stone
area
and a bone. From remember when we were in Cornelius' office, there was just a bone sitting there.
Yeah.
No, we actually have a padded bottom to the seat to the couch, and we have animal
prints
skins,
or furs or whatever.
animal furs pulled along the back of it. It's kind of the first time we've seen something that looks like it's comfortable for gorillas, not just a stone item.
So the set dressers actually wanted to give it the feeling of looking lived in.
A house.
Well,
yeah.
the set dressers want to give that, but the special effects / makeup didn't give a shit about not Taylor, not Dodge.
Brent.
Sorry, I couldn't remember his name.
Run through all your astronauts, Sean.
Yeah, Brent, Taylor, Dodge, Stewart. Which one? Like my mom, whenever she'd get angry at me, she'd go through my dad, my sister, my dog, all my dogs and cats before she'd get my name. Lindsay, Fields, Daisy, you, the person I'm yelling at right now. I'm mad at you. But anyway, they're in the pantry, and his arm just, again, has the splash of ketchup on it. There's no wound to it. He's just sitting there going, I have a hurt arm, while Nova is just snacking down on her treat or whatever. I mean,
I love that they just raided their house, just eating their food.
Hide in our pantry,
Seriously.
eat their food. My arm's not so bad, but...
Well, what gets me about it goes back to what you said. They're in there munching down with only a small curtain drawn.
Yeah.
If I eat an apple at
You
my
can hear
cube
that.
at the office, I hear people saying, Hartzell, go eat in the break room. It's so loud.
My wife sits one cushion down from me on the couch. She's eating chips, and I'm going, is that loud enough for you? I mean, how does a curtain stop that from happening with an apple?
Okay, so what cracks me up is he says somebody may hear you, which is almost a cue
For do you hear me?
Nova to walk out.
Right.
Somebody may hear you. Well, who's listening in now?
What was her
Nova
cue
and
for
Brent.
walking out right then? Yeah.
What cracked me up about this scene is that Nova is so casual.
She's blasé
She
to it.
pulls the
Whatever.
curtain aside.
What's
Now,
up,
they're over
lady?
to her left. She pulls the curtain aside, looks to her right, and then just kind of has the most boring, plain face as she looks over, like no acknowledgement that Zira and Cornelius are there, just like, I'm
I
here.
got the food.
I would have
awesome.
loved it if she walked out and just slapped Zero on the ass. Like, hey, what's up? Woo! What up, girl?
Throw out the little bomb.
Yeah.
Come on, blow it up. Woo.
What's up? High five. Down below.
Speaking of which, and this is staying Planet of the Apes, but the other day I found the Planet of the Apes cartoon on Hulu, which I have not watched since I was a kid, which is bizarre. And the people listening out there that you're ape fans, you'll know this. They actually have an advanced society with buildings that look like ours. They drive cars. Nova speaks. When she meets a new set of astronauts, she'll like say, Brent, Taylor. And it was like,
Wow.
oh my God. But I wanted to find the right place. At some point, we're going to have to watch an episode of it because
We will. We should do one. Yeah, we should do one on it.
Sean, I have to tell you, it has even more boring long shots in a cartoon than the movie does.
How is that possible?
I know, and
Unless it's
they'll
like
they'll
it's
reuse
old.
the same animation.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
economy animation. This
But-
is the
but
era of
then they'll-
Hanna-Barbera when that's
right.
what they would
they'll,
do.
They'll recolor it, and it's just like, oh my God, painful.
So I love this moment when Nova pops out and Zira, she kind of screams like Nova, and she whips around, and the shot
The
is
hair.
with Cornelius behind her, but she moves that wig. It goes to the left, to the right. And she's like, what?
Slapping that
It's
head.
great. It's fantastic. That is. Seriously, Kim Hunter is on fire in this movie compared to the last one.
And
Well,
go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say, I love the fact that when they walk out, they treat humans like they're racist. They go, oh, hey, Brent. Oh, wait, you're not Brent. What's going on here? All humans look alike to them.
Well, and I thought that too. When Taylor? No, it's obviously not Taylor. Okay, did they cast him to look like Charlton Heston? Yes, and he obviously
Yeah.
looks like him.
very
but
much like
at
him.
no point would any of us ever look at him and mistake him. Go, are you Charlton Heston?
They
Well, no,
all,
we
they all-
wouldn't.
I'm sorry, humans.
But
all
that's
look
what I'm
the same.
saying. They think all humans
All
look
humans
alike.
look the same. Yeah.
So
maybe
he's a Caucasian with a beard and hair and a little bit tan. So they think it's Taylor.
I'm still just living on Zeroism space this entire time. She's bringing it.
You're gonna have to give screenshots to Todd so he can put it up for this episode.
So the question is, what are you doing here? Then he kind of emerges from the shadows. He's like expertly lit just so you can see him and not the stuff in the background. I thought that shot was really, really good.
But that's also contrary to what we saw before, which was the pantry is completely flat lit.
Yeah.
But when he steps forward, suddenly
very
it goes in
dark,
shadow.
yeah,
There's no consistency to their lighting concept.
So explain to me why when she says Taylor, Nova
Boom.
walks between them.
Thank you.
Walks behind them,
Grabs
and then
an apple.
and just starts eating. And she never faces the camera. What was weird about that thing?
I literally had that note. Meanwhile, Nova snatches another apple as soon as they turn their backs to her to talk to Brent. It's like she was so hungry, so as soon as they were ignoring her, she's grabbing as much food so she can stay hungry, stay full.
Literally, he says, "My name isn't Taylor, it's Brent." Zero freaks out and goes, "It's talked. You talked." But in the background is Nova in between Cornelius and Zero, just sitting there like the back of her head, going to town. Like who staged that?
This just in, Nova's not very smart.
But
This just in the 60s, they really didn't give a shit either about women.
No.
I'm just asking you, as a director, would you have had one of the stars of your movie have the back of her head in a scene?
No.
Like that.
I mean, we've talked so many times before about how poorly this is shot in a cutaway type aspect. It's all very flat.
It's very TV, not film.
What they could have done in that moment is you let her split the difference, but then you cut on the action of her grabbing the apple and go for another shot, maybe over them
Or you
looking
see
at her.
immediately grab it
Right.
and start eating it while they're talking behind her.
Right, you
just
do
to show
something
that
to
she's
give
hungry
her.
or something.
She
But I
has
mean,
to
even
stay
move
engaged in the scene,
Or
and
she's
currently
like,
she's
"No,
completely
food,"
removed
and
from it.
storing it
She's
on
not
her
even engaged in
somewhere.
the scene. Just have her move off camera.
Well, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
To keep her engaged in the scene,
Yeah.
you have her action mean something, even if it is the passive nature of eating an apple. But they completely extract her from it, even though she is the person that's brought him to the moment. It's horribly staged.
She is Lassie. Hey, there's trouble over here. I brought the person to you.
Yeah.
Now you go deal with them and now I'm having a treat. I mean, she doesn't talk. She takes people where they need to go, and that's about it.
There was Zero freaks out. You talked because she's met one before, but apparently that's it. And then Cornelius is like impossible, and Zero says, "In a whole lifetime devoted to the scientific study of humans, I've only found one other like you who could talk, Taylor." So this actually brings back something from the first movie that we kind of speculated. If Zaius had moved in and actually muted or not gelded. What's the
Landon did a
lobotomized Landon before Zero ever had a chance to actually.
By the way, for those of you that don't see in this non-visual medium,
Richard pointing at his head
we just
in
had
so
the
many different
$20,000 pyramid with Richard as he just sort of circled his scalp, and we were going.
Which part of my head am I
scalp,
talking about?
forehead, lobotomy.
Sorry.
It's okay. It was fun.
Yeah, so I had my notes as well. So as we know it, in the movies at least, Landon never spoke, where
Right.
Zero Cornelius could hear him. And they've only heard Taylor speak, so that's going to clear up a lot of questions for us of if they know that humans can or can't speak. As far as they know, Taylor's the only one. Landon, they never heard speak.
But would you describe that when you discovered that as by saying that's impossible?
No. I wouldn't say that's impossible. I would say that's incredible that this, thing, and this dog in front of me is speaking now.
Oh,
That
God,
doesn't
we're
mean
back to
the
the dog
other dog.
speaking.
I know. We got to pick something for that animal. This other dog that was with the dog next to me that has already been attacked or killed for
Right.
whatever. We don't know what happened to Landon. I never heard it speak. I know this one can speak. Why? Yeah.
I just found that wording
Oh, yeah. I
odd.
understand. Yeah.
But
They
again,
were very specific about that, yeah.
yeah, it's almost like the key moment for this minute
Yeah.
is the idea that it's impossible, which contradicts everything that Cornelius has been in the previous film. He's the one that found the dig site. He did all these things.
That there were something before the apes or something, a doll that talks human, mama.
I mean,
all that
you would
kind of
almost
stuff.
think that he'd be the one clapping his hands going, I knew it, something
Finally,
like that.
proof.
Oh my God, look at that right there, knuckle bump.
But I mean, he also kind of got to the end of the movie where he kind of became closed-minded while Zero was still protesting. Cornelius kind of shut everything down for himself, right? But he bowed to Zaius kind of towards the end.
But isn't a character allowed to be here, jump over to this viewpoint, but be pulled back to where they were before when they find it? And this, to me, would be the thing that pulled Cornelius back.
You're allowed to have new opinions as new information is presented to you, but that doesn't mean your new opinions are automatically reshaped. You can still hold your old opinions and have that confusing...
That yin and yang, that pull.
This is what I believe. This is new information. How do I make?
And
those
that's
two
what
work
makes an
together?
interesting character is when they're inconsistent in their thoughts, their beliefs, and what they say.
Yeah,
I will kind of pull back on something that I said, or go back to something I said earlier that I think is going to be relevant for this moment and potentially for the future moments. That this is not Roddy McDowell's Cornelius, and they cannot let him lead, and they have to let Zero lead this stuff because she's the
actress from the
and
first
so
movie.
this moment of her, in a lifetime devoted to scientific study of humans, I've only found one other to talk like you. She didn't say Cornelius and I. She said herself. And then Cornelius' response is, Taylor, is he alive? Have you seen him? I mean, he's really relegated to not having dominant moments.
I can see that
Yeah.
And that may be why the character itself is not moving in the way that we would like him to move.
But I still think that you could, even if you wanted to stage that, he could have a moment like, I knew it, and Zara could go, not now. and she could assert herself back in the scene, which also makes her stronger. And
Oh, is she the boss?
Oh yeah.
well,
We're going to get into it pretty soon. She the boss.
She is completely, and he's just an absolute bitch compared to her.
Yeah.
You mean a subservient man? Not
Okay,
a
what
bitch.
is
Unless
it?
you're talking about a dog.
Well, if we have a female dog as a bitch,
Yeah,
what's a gelded male chimpanzee?
Todd.
Oh, and on that's minute 26. We'll put that one in the books, and I will completely punch Sean in his gilded area. All right. Come back and check us out tomorrow. But before that, go look us up on Twitter at Men of the Apes. You can follow us there. You can find out what we've got going on. We do our best to post out some photos as we go along. Also retweet everything from the Planet of the Apes universe. So until tomorrow when we dive into minute 27, I'm Todd. For Richard and Sean, we'll see you.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes.